Inside the Classroom takes an in-depth look at one of Team Hardin County Schools' best teachers in action, featuring comments, class instruction, and insight inside the classroom.
I became a teacher because I've always enjoyed working with children. I didn't always have that on my career path. I tried a few things first, and then I became a peer tutor in high school, and I thought back to that time in my life, and I really enjoyed teaching those kids, and so I decided to give education a try and ended up loving it, and it became my passion. All right, so we've talked about some of this with poetry already, so I'm just going to review the first couple, but we're going to go on to our new thing. So we've talked about stanzas. Kaylin, will you read, what is a stanza?
Do I have to read it?
Just write this part.
A
Group
of
verses. Good job. So when I'm talking about stanzas, for example, if I showed you this poem, William, how many stanzas does this poem have?
stanzas.
So if we're talking about each section, how many are there?
5.
Good. So this has 5 stanzas. So I think someone last time related it kind of like a paragraph. So when we're looking at poetry, I might say, look at stanza 1, look at stanza 3. But the new thing we're going to be talking about is something called tone. Have y'all heard that in music before sometimes? Yeah, like a beat, a rhythm. The person that inspired me to teach the most is probably Miss May, shout out. I think she works at Bluegrass now, but I was with her at John Hardin. When I was a peer tutor, I actually, she was a teacher in the special needs department there, and she had me tutor kids with special needs in her classroom. And she really just showed me how teaching could be, love for teaching, and really helped guide me towards picking special education. We're gonna watch a real movie trailer, and I want you to try to think about what words come to mind. So what tone this video has. So how many have seen Dory before? Finding Dory? Okay. I figured most people have seen that. Okay, so you just saw how it said, never give up, and then you heard the background music. What kind of music was that? Was it sad, happy, scary? Christian, what was it?
Sad.
You think it was sad? You're probably thinking of when Dory goes missing, right?
No. Like when Dory said, like, I have a family.
Okay.
Like she really wants to know who they are.
That's true, but the music was very upbeat. What do you think, Kaylin?
It was kind of like someone was playing it on like a ukulele or something.
Yeah?
Because it was kind of like, it wasn't like sad or like happy. It was like, I don't know, it reminded me of like country kind of.
In the lesson, you're going to see in our reading CoTeach classroom, we have centers. We see 2 rotations a day. My first rotation in this lesson is students with IEPs for reading. And you might see some scaffolding, you see a lot of modeling for reading. We do a lot of corrective feedback, and you'll also see, or you might not necessarily see, but SDI is provided during that time, specially designed instruction. And that is provided, but it's not supposed to be evident to everybody what each child's SDI is. The second group is an on grade level group, and even though the lesson goes over the same standards, it is varied for their level. So we are working on poetry currently, and we just introduced the elements of poetry. So we're going to be going into the theme of poems next week. So tone, that's taught today, is going to lead us into determining the theme. All right, let's watch a little bit more and see what we think. So far I know that we're talking about her being lost. So were there some funny parts? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Dory, even though something sad happens, like Christian said, the overall tone, is the whole movie sad? No.
Ms. Treadway is an effective teacher strictly because she's very passionate about what she does. She's very versed in instructional strategies. She breaks down the content for her students. She wants all of her students to be successful. She establishes great relationships with her students as well and builds up their confidence that no matter how hard the task is, they can do the work. She just really wants them to be successful and work as hard as they can, and she's willing to work with them no matter what.
It had some upbeat music in it, which gave it a tone as happy or fun or funny. One more thing.
Look at the picture. Like she's scared.
This one's a different trailer. Okay.
Miss Treadway is effective as a teacher because she looks at each student individually. She guides her lessons based on how they have done previously, and she is always looking for fun things to do with them and engaging them in each lesson.
They took the original trailer and they made it something a little different. The music's already different, isn't it? Addie, what are you thinking? It's kind of sad. What do you think?
It's like a scary story.
Yeah, it makes it scary looking. Even though we know that movie's not scary, but they've changed the music. They've changed the parts they're showing you.
I can. I'll go get help.
She wants her family. I can barely see it.
They're changing the effects.
I just hear it.
Ooh, listen to that kind of music. That's like Scary Dory.
Miss Treadway makes learning fun because she uses great expression when she teaches us. It makes it really fun.
Makes it kind of seem a little scary, right?
Yep.
All right, so the tone changed a little bit.
The one that's with Dory, he lost his son.
Yeah. Okay,
But how?
so we're going to try to figure out, Kristen, the tone of this poem. William? Okay, so the title of this is called Anxious. Thumbs up if you've ever heard of the word anxious before. Thumbs down if you have no idea what that is. Thumbs in the middle if you've heard it but you don't know what it is. Okay, we're all kind of in the middle. You've heard it? Okay. Well, we're going to read it and see if we can figure out what that word means, anxious, by the tone of it. Okay. Oh, you do? I'm going to model it first, and then we're going to take turns reading the stanzas. Okay? You ready? Follow along with me.
Miss Treadway makes learning fun with playing games and reading and writing. And we have so much fun.
Everything is swirling like a tornado in my mind. I'm dizzy, dazed, and worried for no reason I can find. Everything is foggy, so anxious in this cloud. I want to keep it to myself and also scream out loud. Everything is rushing like a sudden gusty gale. My heart is racing quickly. My face is turning pale. Everything is illuming with the tingling sense of dread. How can a nightmare feel so real if it's just in my head? Everything is calming. I'm no longer feeling queasy, but just because it went away doesn't make it easy. So look at that girl on the page too. She's kind of showing what anxious is. So you think that's kind of sad. Okay, what do you think, Kaylin?
I think it means like, anxious means like maybe you could be nervous for something.
Ooh,
Feel kind of weird.
yes, girl. Nervous, that's one thing. Christian?
Scared.
Scared, okay.
She is scared on there.
What about the word worried? You think worried would be one? She kind of looks scared and worried, doesn't she?
Some of the best instructional strategies or practices that Ms. Treadway uses in the classroom, of course, being a special ed teacher, she does a lot of specially designed instruction. She uses a lot of charts and a lot of visual cues, a lot of visual schedules with her students, as well as math manipulatives, regardless of the content, whether it be reading or math. Uses a lot of diagrams as well with the students, a lot of memory devices, again, breaking down the content for the students as well. Again, just really takes her time communicating with the students, connecting things to real life, just to make sure that they understand.
This time as we take turn reading stanzas,
And I got the only different color.
you want the same color?
No.
Okay. All right, this time as we're taking turn reading the different stanzas, I want you to, as soon as you hear something that tells you it's her being worried or scared or sad, I want you to underline or circle it, okay?
Okay.
You need another one? All right, let's start with Christian. Christian, can you read the first stanza for me?
Everything is swirling like a tornado in my mind. I'm dizzy,
Dazed.
dazed, and worried for no reason I can feel.
Fine. All right, awesome job. Is there anything in that that told you? Yeah, it says the word worried, so you should have the word worried either circled or underlined. So right here.
Where is worried?
Right there. Anything else that tells you?
No reason.
Okay, because it's for no reason. Okay. All right. What about how everything is swirling? If it's swirling like a tornado, do you think that's a good thing? Yeah, like in Frozen? So if it's swirling like a tornado, is that a good thing?
No.
No, tornadoes are normally not good, right? So tornado. The best practices I use involve really getting to know each student and getting to know their needs. Not just my students with IEPs, although my students with IEPs, they have this individualized education plan, and we think of those students as the only ones with that, but it's actually all students that have some sort of individualized need. So it's about finding out what works and what doesn't work for each student, either in the special education classroom or in the CoTeach classroom. So I make sure that I find out something that is engaging to them, and I like to do a lot of guided reading with them, in this case for reading class. All right, Ethan, you think you can read our second stanza? All right.
Everything is foggy, so obnoxious,
Anxious.
anxious. In this cloud, I want to keep it to myself and also scream out loud.
Oh, what is something she's doing in that poem that tells you that she's worried or scared?
Scream out loud.
Yeah, someone's not gonna just want to scream out loud if they're not worried or scared, or do you?
We like live in a trailer. Wait, the
So
word
you like
also
to?
says anxious. And me and my friends like
Christian noticed that anxious is actually in that stanza.
Yeah, because anxious is
All right.
Miss Treadway, do we have to
and it's also bolded.
tornado
In a bolded word.
and tornado?
Just tornado. All right, William, I want you to read the third stanza.
Everything is rushing, like a sudden,
Gusty.
gusty glad. My heart is racing quickly, my face is turning pale.
All right. She's nervous. What tells you that, Kaylin?
Because when you're nervous, you like do this and like you like don't want to move, you don't want to do anything. Because I do that on the first day of school. Oh, and you're
What part exactly says that though? You're right, but what part says that?
right here.
Yeah, my heart is racing quickly. Do y'all know what that means? Like when you get really nervous or scared, it's like do, 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 do. Yeah. So circle that. I also see something else that happens to her that actually happens when somebody is scared.
My face is turning pale.
Face is turning pale. It can also happen when you're sick.
The best practices Ms. Treadway uses in the classroom, one thing is modeling. She really takes the time to teach them by modeling how to not only read passages fluently, but also teaching them by modeling how to get a correct answer. So she does all of that first, and then she guides them in their independent instruction.
Addie, do you think you can read our fourth stanza?
Everything is a looming with a
Tingling. Since?
Since
Dread?
how many can a nightmare feel so real if it's just in my head?
Okay, so I see a couple things in there, but let's just do, for time's sake, let's just name one. Christian?
Nightmare.
Nightmare, that was my big one. Because our nightmare is a good thing?
Nope.
No, it's something that's gonna be bad in our head, right?
But
Hang on, tell me later, okay?
sometimes you can have a good nightmare.
You can have a good dream, but not a nightmare means bad.
Nightmare means
All right, Kaylin, can you read our last stanza?
everything is
Calming.
calming.
I'm no longer.
I'm no longer feeling
Queasy.
but just because it went away doesn't make it easy.
Okay, so she's back, she's calm, she's feeling better, but what was she feeling before? What was that word that she said? She said she's no longer feeling what? Queasy. So all of this evidence that you circled tells you the tone of this poem. Is that going to be different from the silly poems we've read? Yeah, this is a lot different, isn't it? It's not very happy.
The way Ms. Treadway enhances the culture and our staff here in our building, first of all, she is one of the most positive people that I know here on staff. She has a great sense of humor, so that really adds to the environment here at our school and to the culture and to the staff as well. She's always also very versed with technology. She is our technology fellowship person here in our building, so she sends out emails to all the staff on ways that they can incorporate technology into the classroom. She's very good at making videos, so when we do things to motivate students during testing time or just some things at the end of the year to celebrate successes or encourage students, she makes some awesome videos. So not only does she contribute to the staff, she also contributes to the whole school and to the students.
Everybody finished their math already yet?
Yeah.
Awesome. I know all scores are really good. Okay. So we're going to review the elements we've looked at so far, but we're only going to really talk about one today. Some of this stuff we can go through pretty quickly, like stanza, we know what those are, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm showing you this poem, River, how many stanzas are in this one? 5 stanzas, yes. So remember, they're separated by blank spaces. So when you hear me say read stanza 1 today, then you're going to look at the first one in the poem. Okay. Now rhythm, you might have heard this in music class. In music, does anybody know what rhythm is? Can someone tell me what it is? Okay, kind of like the beat to something. So we have rhythm in poetry, and rhythm helps tell us the tone of something. So tone is the attitude or mood that the author creates. So some poems, like the silly ones we've read, what kind of mood did those poems have? Happy, funny, yes, silly. Yeah, none of them were like scary or sad, right? Okay, but some poetry is like that. So before we actually look at the poems though, I'm going to show you, this is an actual movie trailer of Mary Poppins. This is the old Mary Poppins.
I've seen the first, not the very
Okay.
first, not that one, but I've seen.
Okay, has anyone seen the old Mary Poppins? Okay, awesome. So you kind of know, I'm not going to play the whole trailer because it's kind of long, but this is the regular trailer that came out.
Oh, I have seen this.
Yeah, you remember the music?
Ms. Treadway enhances the staff. One, she is our tech person, so she goes to all of the tech, the trainings, and she comes back and relays information to us. So she really gets us on board with all of the technology that we need for the classroom. She also supports us in anything we need as far as differentiation for our students that might be struggling as well, even if they aren't one of her students.
Okay, so the music so far, what kind of music is this? What kind of mood does it give? Cheerful, that's a good word for it. Happy, funny.
I think it's not the so-called.
So if you're gonna go see this movie in a movie theater, you would expect to laugh maybe, Be happy? Are you most likely gonna cry? No. Probably not. Are you gonna be scared? No. That'd be kind of odd, right? All right. But I'm gonna show you a different one. So this is, oops, hold on. This is Mary Poppins, but it is a different Mary Poppins. Right away. Can you tell it's a different tone?
Yeah, that should be scary.
You hear the wind howling, the music. This part, I think it's kind of funny. You'll see.
Little kids will get literally so scared.
I watched Cold yesterday. I'm not really scared.
Yeah, but now it's scary.
It's like Annabelle just yanking.
This is a fan made of.
Yeah, it's not a real movie, no.
Yeah. I was like, is that a movie?
No. Scary Mary. Hide your children. Okay. Yes.
It's kind of like Annabelle.
And
Annabelle's way creepier.
like y'all said, it's not a real movie. It's a fan-made version.
What I enjoy in the classroom is like writing. I enjoy going to Miss Treadway's station.
So let's first look at the title. What is the title? Does anybody know that word? Anxious. Can anybody tell me what that word means?
Scared or
Kind of scared, nervous, worried, right? So is it a fun thing to be anxious?
No.
No. No one wants to be anxious. So look at her face. She doesn't want to be anxious, right? So we're going to, as we read, anything you come across that tells you she's scared or worried or sad, you're going to underline or circle.
What about like dizzy and dazed? Worried.
Well, that kind of worried is a word that, yeah. So, but we're going to read it together though. All right, so let's start with Halen. Will you read stanza 1?
Everything is swirling like a tornado in my mind. I'm dizzy, dazed, and worried for no reason I can find.
Okay, what could be underline or circle there?
Worried.
Worried. It flat out says it, right? What else is unpleasant in that first stanza?
Tornado in my mind.
Okay, tornado. Here, take mine. A tornado is not a good thing, right?
No.
So if you have a tornado in your mind, what do you think that's saying about her?
Like you like are scared and you feel like it's all mixed up.
Everything's all mixed up in her head. What do you think, Talon?
Mine is like spinning with a lot of things.
A lot of too many ideas spinning around. I like it.
She is a great co-teacher. So since I've been working with her this year, she plans with me. We work together to create lessons for our students. She runs a center in my classroom, which is very effective, and we can also use it in other classrooms as well. And she's a go-getter. So anytime that I need something or am struggling with something, she'll find ways to help me without even being asked.
Kennedy, will you read the second stanza?
Everything is foggy, so anxious in this cloud. I want to keep it to myself and scream out loud.
Okay, there's a few things in here. What do you think? Scream. If she wants to scream, probably not feeling too great, right? Anything else?
Anxious.
It says the word anxious, right?
She wants to keep it to herself
Okay. Why do you think she wants to keep it to herself?
because she's just so scared. She just doesn't want to tell anybody.
She doesn't want to tell anybody because she's so scared. I agree. And when it says everything is foggy, we're not talking about actual fog. What do you think that could mean? Everything's foggy. Go ahead, River.
You can't really think because everything's just mixed around you.
Yeah, like you cannot see what you're trying to see in your head. Everything's very foggy, just like real fog. It's hard to see ahead. Okay, Talon, will you read stanza 3?
Everything is rushing, like sudden dusty gale. My heart is racing quickly. My face is turning pale.
Ooh, there's a few things. Kennedy, what's one thing?
My heart is racing quickly.
My heart is racing quickly. What does that mean, Kennedy?
Like she's mostly scared.
Or nervous? Have y'all ever felt like that? Where you're just like, da, 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 da. Yeah. Halen?
Turning pale.
Turning pale. Can you think of an example of when you've turned pale?
When you're sick.
When you're sick, which normally you're... So if you're not sick, is there ever a time where you feel like you turn pale? Has anybody been to a haunted house?
Yes, I hate those.
So sometimes...
We were going to go there for Halloween, but
So sometimes some people, if they get scared, their face turns pale. So that could be part of it.
and like a horror movie. I went to like 12 haunted houses at that one.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot. Yeah, I bet.
I think one way Miss Treadway will be remembered by students, again, just for being fun. She's got a great sense of humor. She's willing to do just about anything to connect with her students, to have them be successful. Again, she'll take a pie in the face to help them reach their goal, and again, to show them how learning can be fun, and again, to encourage them and motivate them. So I think that'll be one of the things that they would remember her by, again, just being fun and just real and encouraging.
All right, River, can you read stanza 4?
Everything is gleaming with a tingling sense of dread. How can a nightmare feel so real if it's just in my head?
Okay, what's really unpleasant about that stanza? Nightmare. Nightmares are never good things, right? There's... Wow, on the roll? Yes, tingling sense of dread. Do y'all know what dread means?
Like, not.
Like you do not want to do it, right? It's like some sort of feeling in your mind where you are not wanting to do something.
Ms. Treadway will be remembered by the students for her fun that she has in every lesson that she does. She's caring, she's thoughtful, she puts her students above herself and any other teachers in the school, and she just cares about them.
This is a funny one. My nostril.
Okay. This is a very serious poem called My Nostril Smells Awesome.
What?
I'm just kidding, it's not serious. All right. Have you ever thought that your nostril smells awesome?
No, I don't think anyone.
Well, this guy does. All right, we're gonna see why. Halen, will you start with the first stanza?
My nostrils smell awesome inside of my nose, a bit like the bloom of a newly picked rose. It started this morning, I couldn't say why, and all day it smelled like banana cream pie.
All right, Kennedy?
It has the aroma of freshly baked bread with hot melted butter and blackberry spread. Maybe there's a breeze of a warm afternoon that follows the thunderstorm in early June.
I will remember Miss Treadway when I get older because she's really fun and she does a lot of fun stuff with us. And she's really cool and fun and nice. I will always remember Miss Treadway because she helped me learn how to read.
Talon?
It smells like a pine forest right by lake, and chocolate chip cookies my mom likes to bake. Like a kettle turned popping over a fire, and laundry the moment it's out of the dryer.
All right, go ahead.
My nostril smells awesome, so I have a plan to sit and enjoy it as long as I can. Don't ask how it happened. I really can't say. Perhaps it's my finger that's smelling this way.
What does that mean?
He's picking his nose.
Yeah.
Ew.
I know. Teachers are so important now more than ever because of everything that the world has been going through. I think teachers have always been important because we've been the foundation of anybody's learning. However, in the past couple years, with all of the challenges with education, all of the extra needs these students have, for someone to still be in this career really shows them that they are passionate and love what they do. So it takes a special type of person. So I think it's really important when you find special type of people like that to meet the needs of all the kids.
You